Leaders Among Us focuses on instances of leadership where the actions of an individual or group resulted in a successful achievement in Hampton Roads history that will inspire future generations.
Virginia Beach native Al Midgett is the founder and CEO of the Noblemen, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to identify and perform noble deeds for great local kids who are in need of help. The idea for the Noblemen came to Al 20 years ago with the birth of his son Matthew.
Got a phone call from my wife that said, "Hey, something's not right. We need to get down to the doctors." And I got there, and my wife was in the hospital at that time and said, "Your son is going to be born early, and it'd be a good opportunity perhaps to consider not having him, simply because this was at 22 weeks. And you could abort a child at that early age." And the doctors basically asked me, I said, what are the chances? And he said 2%. And I remember telling him, I said, well, let's just let it ride, and we'll make a decision as we go along. The adventure started then.
Because Al's son was born premature, his health insurance had not kicked in. Al found himself $560,000 in debt.
And my friends came to the rescue, which was cool. They knew I was in a jam. I'd grown up all my life here in Virginia Beach, and actually it was Barbara Sessoms, which is Will Sessoms, our mayor's sister, called me up and said, "Al, listen, I'm not asking you permission, but I'd like to throw you a fundraiser to help you with these bills."
The fundraiser was held on 67th Street at the Officers Club in Virginia Beach. Many of Al's friends and some people he did not know attended the event. There was an overwhelming outpour of donations.
And everybody just had the right attitude. Everybody wanted to help. It was a platform to help a fellow citizen get out of a jam. And that's what happened. And my son lived, and he's 20 today, and he's quite alive. After about 2 years, I got the notion to what I call balance the gift, simply because I was impacted by the fact that people with no agenda helped me out.
As a result of what Al's friends did for him, the Noblemen organization was founded.
We decided that's what we would do. We'd help local kids, but we didn't want to be a news story. We essentially wanted to give back in a way that kept our egos out of it.
Building a platform for philanthropy has always been the focus of the Noblemen.
Every day I see the impact of what it is that we do in the community. But one of the basic tenets of the organization is having fun. We enjoy what we do, and we do make an impact. And as a result of leading volunteers, and when you think about volunteers, nobody's paying them to show up and be a part of what it is that you do. And so my job is to make sure that there is a return on investment. If you're going to take an hour out of your day or many hours out of your day and spend it with me and the organization called the Noblemen, then you need to get something back. And what we give back is we change your life, which was unintentional to begin with. I remember our first event. We had $5,000 in the bank, and we knew we needed to do something with that money. What we did, we went on a trolley ride and helped families with Edmark. Edmark is a local hospice. And we basically, our intentions were to spend the money appropriately. What happened was we went into these homes where these families were facing their last Christmas with their son or daughter, and impactful. We went in, spread a little love, sing off key, and deliver not only presents for the child that was dying, but everybody in the family, mom, dad, and anybody that happened to be living there. And we just went in there and had fun. And at the end of the night, It was us that received the gift. And that's what it is. It's the return on investment. It's knowing that you're doing something, and as a result of what you're doing, changes your life.
Through the years, the Noblemen have held events to help kids. Seeing the impact that his organization had on young people sparked the idea to expand its reach.
Well, I tell you, one of the cooler things that we did years ago, we decided to give dictionaries to third graders. And it doesn't sound like a big thing. We heard about a Rotary Club in the Carolinas giving dictionaries, and so we decided to do it our own way. And we chose Title I third graders in Virginia Beach Public Schools. At the time, about 1,600 of them. But we wanted to make an impact, and we wanted to go in and meet these kids and talk to them about what it is that we do. And I found out that not a whole lot of third graders know what the word noble means, but they do know what contract means. So what we did, we put a contract in each dictionary, and we said, listen, here's how it goes. If you want this dictionary, we need to first establish that you're a great Virginia Beach kid. And we ask them, are you a great Virginia Beach kid? And they all raise their hand. They're like rock stars. And then we say, listen, the second part of the contract goes like this. Please pass it along to another when you no longer need it. And then we say, why do you think we put that in there? And we talk about being noble, and we're talking about paying it forward. And then we all have to look up a word to make sure the dictionaries work. And what happens is these kids never forget that they got this dictionary. Now, we did that many, many years ago, and as a result of that philanthropy, we now have Noble Teens. And we have Noble Teens, over 400 of them in local high schools in Virginia Beach. And the basic tenet of Noble Teens is teens helping teens. So look out for your fellow teen and do something that, that's great. So one of the greatest things we did, started out with third graders, now we're working on teens, and who knows where it's going to go from there.
As the organization grew, members from the surrounding cities participated in meetings held in Virginia Beach. It was decided to start chapters in several Hampton Road cities. Ladies took notice to this expansion and wanted to start Noble Women.
Women process things differently than men, and I took that to heart, and so far it's worked. But not only do we have Noble Women, and as I mentioned earlier, we have Noble Teens, we even have Noble Pets. People smile when I say that, but we've done a number of things in the community where we've funded families that needed a service dog, or perhaps a reading dog, or even just finding ways to give back through pets. And it's interesting, some people care as much about their pet or more than their child. So sometimes I say it's a revenue stream, but essentially it's just different ways for people to become involved in our organization.
Through the years, many leaders have been a part of the Noblemen. Several of these leaders have created other ways to give back to the community.
It's great to see leaders come into our organization, find their niche, find their passion, and then use us as a platform to jump and do their own thing. And then we all do it together and just find ways to give back.
Creating such an organization like the Noblemen had its obstacles. As a businessman and entrepreneur, Al came to the nonprofit world not knowing the challenges he would face.
I didn't know how to run a nonprofit and wasn't a big fan of having a board to tell me how I ought to run the organization. And time in the saddle is what worked. Essentially, spending time understanding how a nonprofit works, understanding how you get funding, and understanding that a board can be the greatest gift in the world because you have talented people that are on your team to help you create something wonderful. I learned by doing it wrong. You never learn by doing it right. And a good friend of mine, Larry Sansilio, told me years ago, Al, there's no such thing as a problem, only opportunities for progress. And I took that to heart, and it was a painful lesson to learn, but I practice it daily, and it's really helped me grow, and it's helped me overcome those obstacles by not seeing them as obstacles, as just seeing them as there's a better way to do this, and I'm going to figure it out.
Al Midgett has always encouraged leaders among us to find something they enjoy doing.
Years ago, a good friend of mine, Terry Ittner, gave me a painting. It was a caricature that she painted, and it said, "Leap and grow your wings on the way." For leaders, you have to have the courage to take the step because you can't see the view till you jump. And once you jump, then you get a chance to see the view. I'm not a big planner, I'm not a big goal setter, I'm somebody that pays attention. And there's miracles that happen every day in my life and others. And for leaders that want to take a step to do something, I think you have to follow your passion. I think it's passion that outlives everything else. The passionate people endure the obstacles and become professionals at what they do. And those are the leaders that you like to follow simply because they do it better than anybody else. And so my advice to others is do what puts a smile on your face, because it's no fun to be successful and not be happy. So I'm a big fan of finding your niche, finding your passion, and that means quieting yourself down to listen as opposed to telling everybody what you think you ought to be doing. Pay attention to what the world tells you you can be doing, and then follow it and have the courage to do it.
Today, the Noblemen have an office building and want to grow the organization more professionally in Hampton Roads and expand the reach to many more.
And develop that platform to take to other communities, perhaps that don't want to start a new Rotary Club or don't want to start a Kiwanis but like to do something on their own. Well, I would love to be that springboard to help other communities discover ways to give back and have a good time doing it, because we truly enjoy what we do and we know we make an impact. And it's a great gift. I started this organization as a volunteer. I had a real job, and I knew that whatever I was going to spend, I wanted to enjoy it. So I got a chance to do it my way. And I did. I did it, and the wonderful thing is it's worked every step of the way. Now, we've had some left and right turns, but I've always felt that we were on the right path. I call these things nobleisms, things that I've learned, and one of them is pushing the rope. And I found early on, as I had great ideas, not everybody agreed with me. And I pushed the rope. I would put that out there, and simply it would fall down in front of me, and I couldn't understand why people wouldn't want to follow that great idea. And I got smarter, and then I realized that I only did things where people pulled on the rope. And there's so many ideas out there these days that all I can do is simply hold on, because people pull me right through, and we do great things together.
A Noblemen event is designed to raise money and be enjoyable for those who participate. Al never wanted people to get a phone call at night asking for money.
But when it comes to philanthropy, which is what we do best, there's been people that we've helped for so many years that we met early on. And I call it helping the heroes. We'll meet somebody that has had something happen in their life, and we decide to be their partner, be their wingman. And there was a lady in Portsmouth, Mimi, years ago, that basically took on all of her grandkids because it was the right thing to do. And we helped her rebuild her house, and every kid that she had graduated from high school with honors. And recently, and we continue to go see her every year, and last year one of the children wanted a saxophone, and we couldn't find one, so we said best we could do is a clarinet. On the way, Moe's Music donated a saxophone. We went out there, gave the kid the saxophone, and he came out and played Silent Night. Well, I'm telling you, those moments live for me forever, and it's somebody that we've helped early on and we continue to help. Hundreds and hundreds of stories like that are involved in our organization, and that's what keeps membership, and that's what's allowed us to understand. Basically, our motto is helping kids and changing lives. But it's our lives that are the lives that are being changed. We help the kids. There'll always be kids to help. There'll always be people to help. But when you get an opportunity to change your own life as a result of being involved in it, that's the gift.